Is type 2 diabetes a life sentence for you? Absolutely not. We are going to equip you to stop your diabetes now using the power of exercise. Today, we're talking about using exercises to reverse your diabetes or your high blood sugar.
We believe you have the power to take control of your health and even reverse the cause of this condition.
We are going to actually uncover some secrets using exercises, as your secret weapon against type 2 diabetes. So we will also separate the myths from the facts and give you practical plan to get you started.
So the first one that we will talk about is how exercise acts like insulin, helping your body to use glucose more effectively.
That's the first one we're going to talk about. And then from there, we're going to be also hitting on how exercise improves insulin sensitivity. How regular physical activity can reverse insulin resistance, which is a key factor in type 2 diabetes.
Then we also go through how exercise can protect you from heart attack, nerve damage, kidney problems, and other serious diabetes-related issues.
We're going to be talking also about how combining exercise with a healthy diet can actually lead to effective and long-lasting weight management, which is crucial for diabetes control.
So let's begin with the first one, how exercise acts like insulin.
So how does that happen? So what happens is during exercise of all kinds, muscle contractions stimulate the movement of what we call glucose transporters, right? From inside the muscle cells to the cell membrane. So the glucose transporters buried inside the muscle cells, because of your exercise, they are stimulated and they come outside to the cell membrane, outside the cell. And when they do that, they tend to open the doorways. The membrane doors are open, which allows glucose to rush in from the bloodstream. And so exercise in itself, by that way, is actually acting like insulin, because that's basically what insulin does. When insulin comes around, the channels are open for glucose to be absorbed into the cell. So independent of insulin, exercise is acting like insulin, basically making your cells pick up more glucose from your blood. And so that's the first way that exercise helps by lowering your blood glucose levels.
Yes, so exercise help your body's ability, to use glucose for energy. When you exercise, your muscles are contracting and relaxing, and it needs energy to fuel that action, to help you be able to do that. So in order to do that, you need to absorb or use glucose. So the floating glucose is being taken up because you are exercising the muscles.
So two things. This is independent actions. The first one is just by exercising itself, your body is acting like there's insulin around, picking up glucose from your blood because the channels of the cells are being opened. And then the second point is what she said. Because you're also exercising, you need to burn energy. You need to use glucose. So the glucose in your blood have a place to go because you are moving, you're contracting and relaxing muscles, and that requires glucose. So you are picking up the excess glucose from your blood. So independent of insulin, we haven't talked about insulin doing anything here. Just because you're exercising, you are using up the glucose that is moving and staying in your blood. Now, the other key thing that exercise also do is that when you are exercising, glucose stores begin to be used up. We mentioned in our last show that when you have excess glucose, the first place it goes is it gets stored in your either muscles or your liver in a form we call glycogen. That's how glucose is stored, right? So if you are not sitting sedentary, if you are not just relaxing, but you are moving, you are exercising, the stored glucose there begin to be used up. And when you use up the glucose, guess what? The body will have to save another bunch of glucose in the form of energy for future use. So it's going to go back into your blood and then pick up any remaining glucose floating around. So your blood sugar goes down. So 3 ways. Just by exercising, you are replenishing the glucose you are using. And so glucose remaining in your blood is going to be taken up again. And that prevents your blood sugar from being high all the time. So exercise, I'm telling you can't beat exercise.
Let's go to the next one. So exercise increases blood flow to the muscles. You are exercising, blood needs to flow. Okay, so delivering more glucose and insulin to the working tissues. So your cells are activated, they are working, So you need glucose and insulin to move to that area. So this improves circulation.
Blood is being pushed to the muscles of the heart, is being pushed to all the other parts of the body. And so glucose has a place to go. It's not just staying in the blood and stagnant and just getting high.
So this improved circulation facilitates the glucose uptake and its usage in your body. Like you said, it's not just in the blood floating around. Because you are exercising, it's taking all the glucose up to where it's supposed to go. If it needs to be stored, if it needs to be used up in the cells and the tissues, it goes directly in that area so that it's not just left circulating around.
Regular exercises can make your body more sensitive to insulin. If you are using insulin or your body is, releasing insulin to pick up glucose, because you are exercising, your body becomes more sensitive to the insulin that you are either releasing or injecting. Just that's just apart from the fact that glucose is going to be picked up because of the exercise. This is a whole new ball game. So insulin is going to be what? Sensitive. Your body is going to be sensitive to your insulin. This means that less insulin is going to be needed to achieve the same low blood sugar that you intend for.
Yes, so this is particularly beneficial for people with insulin resistance, where your body cells don't respond effectively to insulin. So sometimes when you get your medication, you get your insulin, pharmacists may advise you to do it with exercise. Most of the medications is, if you read the direction very closely, you realize that it says that with diet and exercise. So you have to exercise for the insulin that you are injecting to be more sensitive. Because if your cells are not responding to the insulin, then the doctor will keep increasing the dose. You have to go higher, 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 because your cells are not responding to whatever you're giving it. So in order for your cells to be sensitive or your muscles to be able to pick up the floating glucose, you have to exercise. You will never go wrong.
You will never go wrong. Come on, man. Exercise is a friend. You will never go wrong with that. Another major thing. So we have talked about two major things, right? The glucose uptake and then insulin sensitivity. Now the next one is that exercise can protect your heart muscles. It's not just your heart. Basically, when you exercise and you are diabetic, if you've been diagnosed with diabetes, when you exercise, you stop or delay what we call diabetes complications or diabetic complications, where because of high amounts of sugar floating around, you damage your kidneys, you damage your nerves, you damage your eyes, you damage your a host of other important vital organs, right? Because of exercise, you slow the damage that occurs to all these things.
Yes, so we can see that exercise strengthens the heart muscles because you're pumping blood into it and you are building muscle in there. So it becomes strengthened. And it also improves blood circulation. I think I touched on this already. It also lowers your blood pressure and cholesterol levels because exercise increases what? HDL, the good cholesterol. It increases it. So exercising also have a touch on your cholesterol levels. So these benefits reduce the risk of heart attacks. It reduces the risk of strokes and other cardiovascular problems, which are significantly elevated in people with diabetes.
If you are not diagnosed yet, pre-diabetics are also suffering from all these complications that affect them. And so exercising would slow them, if not completely even reverse them. Your exercise is going to make sure that you do not damage your kidneys, you do not damage your heart, you do not damage your nerves, which are key things that affect diabetics or people with high blood sugar levels, which are not controlled. Exercise also reduces inflammation. Now, by inflammation, let's just be specific. Chronic low-grade inflammation. leads to diabetes complications. Chronic low grade. It's not, too big of a thing that anybody can pinpoint to. But if your blood sugar levels are high all the time, you have chronic low grade inflammation. That is all the time persistent. And that also contributes to all those complications that we listed above. But if you exercise, studies have shown that exercise is actually anti-inflammatory. It has anti-inflammatory effects such as on your blood vessels, your nerves, and then your organs, including even your eye, your eye vessels and all those things that get damaged if your blood sugar levels are not controlled.
Yeah, so sometimes it's likely that you damage your nerves, right? If you regularly exercise, it can improve blood flow to the nerves, which is crucial for nerve health. So this can help prevent or slow the progression of neuropathy.
Neuropathy basically being nerve pain. For those of you who have nerve pain before, you have seen it. Sometimes you have tingling and numbness of your extremities, your feet and your fingers and some other parts of your body will be numb or tingly or even with pain. And in severe cases, it leads to pain that needs medication to treat. If you are exercising, because, as she said, because of the blood flow that exercise does, it slows down the progression of these numbness and tingling, which is associated primarily with high blood sugar levels. Exercise is all you need. And another thing is that also high blood sugar levels damage the small blood vessels in your kidneys, which I have also alluded to. And that leads to kidney disease. For some people with diabetes, the first time they found out that they have diabetes was because of of kidney damage, renal compromise. They had some issues with their kidneys, and they went to the doctors. They did some lab, and they found out that their kidney is being damaged because of persistently or chronically high glucose levels in their blood. That is something you want to avoid. And exercise helps protect the function of the kidneys and reduce the risk of this damage that we are talking about.
So the next thing that we want to talk about is weight management.
And this is another huge benefit of exercise, apart from all those we have.
Yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes some people talk about, my weight is on point. I don't need to lose any more weight. So I don't want to exercise. So, like we are learning, exercise is not just for weight management. If your weight is at this point that you are there, you can still do exercise to maintain that weight. You don't do exercise just to lose weight. You have other benefits that comes from exercise. But we are talking about how you can use exercise to manage your weight. Because as we all know, obesity and overweight is a major risk factor for people with type 2 diabetes. It's likely that you are going to put on a little extra weight because you are diabetic. So you can use exercise to manage your weight. So exercise help with weight loss and maintenance. Like I said before, you can use that to maintain because you don't want to keep adding on. Even if you are the optimum weight, you don't want to keep adding on. So you can use exercise to maintain the weight. And particularly when you combine it with healthy diet. Because sometimes you can exercise and after exercise you feel so hungry that if you are not careful you are going to mess up every weight that you've lost because you are so hungry you want to eat. So as you exercise you have to combine it with healthy diet.
She mentioned two things that I also want to add something to. She said that exercise, if you are diabetic, you're already prone to, especially if you are on insulin, you are prone to being overweight or putting on more weight. So you're using insulin, you are going to get bigger. Insulin side effect is you gain weight, right? And then also, that's if you're already diabetic. Now, before you become diabetic too, if you gain weight, you're also at risk of getting diabetes. You see the connection?
Yeah.
So if exercise helps you lose and maintain weight, what do you wait for? You got to exercise. For those who are already diabetic, to reverse your diabetes, and those who don't want to be diabetic, you are pre-diabetic, you have a family history, but your weight is up there. Exercise also reduces the incidence of you getting diabetes because of the fact that it reduces your weight, because weight gain or being obese is a risk factor for type 2 diabetes. And of course, adding to all those other benefits of exercise that we have mentioned, they're all going to help you be good in terms of staying away from diabetes or reversing diabetes. The other thing is exercise improves overall metabolic health by positively influencing various factors such as insulin sensitivity, blood lipids, cholesterol, as we have mentioned, and also even your blood pressure. Exercise will help you manage all those things. And all these things work together to reduce diabetes-related complications. So now let's move to another.
Yes, so we discussed the best type of exercise.
Best types of exercise,
for
right?
diabetes. The personalized plan and removing barriers.
Okay, let's move on then. All right, so the first major exercise type that we also studies promote for diabetes, to prevent diabetes or to reverse diabetes, is what we call aerobic or cardio exercises. So aerobic exercises or cardio exercise, as we say in the US, right?
Cardio.
Cardio. What are some of the examples?
Yes, so the first one is brisk walking. So we studies have shown that it lowers blood sugar and it improves insulin sensitivity. So when you're brisk walking, let's say in the morning, you are a morning person or afternoon person or evening person, you want to take a brisk walk. You're not going to leisure walk around the neighborhood, but you're going to briskly walk around just to pump the heart. It's supposed to be cardio, so you have to feel it. So brisk walking, like walking brisk, like quickly, right? As fast as possible. Some people go into another form of even running intermittently, like they run a little bit and they walk and they run and they walk. So something that will keep your heart pumping and keep your heart going, that will be considered aerobic exercise, which can be termed as cardio.
It can be termed as cardiovascular exercises. The other kind of cardio exercise that I think we can also talk about is running, jogging and running. That's another group of exercise that we can talk about. Cardio exercises, including running and jogging, are also something that are going to help you use up all the glucose that you want, all the glucose that you basically want to be used up, right? Because you are briskly exercising or you are doing running or jogging, intense, more intense or even slower running or what we call jogging, they will all be good for you. They lead to glucose use in such great amounts that will definitely reduce your blood glucose level. It's important also to build up gradually to avoid injury. You don't just start one day and run a marathon when you haven't running even 50, when you have not run 50 yards before. So that's something that we have to be careful about.
Yeah, so another point is cycling, which is an excellent form of cardiovascular health, cardiovascular exercise. So it's help, to control your glucose level. Because you're cycling, you're using all the energy to cycle. Some people have this at their basement, some people have the machine at home. That is a good way to do aerobic exercise. It's really help uses the glucose in the bloodstream, and that would definitely help control your diabetes.
That is cycling, right?
Yes.
Cycling. What's the next aerobic or cardio exercise that we can also talk about?
Even like skipping. If you don't have this like a little complex cycle bike in your house, you can do skipping. Skipping rope. So you just skip 15 minutes or 10 minutes, or just you can build on it. You can adapt to the number of times or how many minutes you can skip before you take a break, then you skip again. So in so doing, you are building up that you are able to even skip 10 minutes continuously without stopping. And that is aerobic exercise that help control your glucose level.
Definitely. And then apart from that, we talk about what? Swimming. When we talk about swimming, you can't find me swimming. Come on, man. Not me.
So they call it water aerobics, right?
Yeah, water aerobics, right?
Which is good for people with joint issues. So if it's less lower impact on your joints, if you have to run and you have a joint issue, if you have to skip, the impact is greater. But if you swim, it's known that it has a lower impact on your joints. So that would be something that you can consider. In the water, you are able to go in and out, in and out if you are a swimmer. And that would definitely help improve your blood sugar.
Definitely. That's which one was that? That was swimming?
Yes.
All right. Now, what's the next one? The next one that we can talk about. So those are just the examples of cardio exercises. There's more, but there's another group of exercises that will help reverse your diabetes or decrease your blood sugar levels, and that is what we call the resistant training. Resistant training, and that is another good way to basically, let me show this also on the other channel. You want to start with that one?
Yeah, so we have the weight lifting.
That's the first one example,
weight lifting. So you can buy weight, you can get weights in almost all the pharmacies around. You can start with 5 or 10, 15, 20, or you can buy the whole set in the big stores around. They sell the weight. Instead of going shopping and buying the clothing and the food, you can invest in weight. So you buy this weight and you let it be part of your morning exercise. So you are going to use this weight to build muscles, and using the weight, and you are building up slowly. You can start with 5 and you use it, you go 10,
5 is
15.
too small. Come on.
Oh,
5
no.
Too small.
The women, we don't want to be muscular, so we will start a little lower and go slowly up. So it builds muscles, which is crucial for glucose disposal, and it also improves insulin sensitivity in the long term.
It improves insulin sensitivity in the long term. That is resistant training using weight. You can also use your body weight. You can use your body weight. Those of you who are watching from YouTube, or you could actually see it. People using their body weight, whether they are climbing up or the push up. There's a lady which is pushing up, who is pushing up. That is using the weight that you have on top of your arms, and basically doing that resistant exercise. And all those, there's more, including squats. I mentioned push-outs, and then push-ups, and then lunges. All those are resistant forms of exercises that you can use to harness effective strength building as well as blood sugar control. That's the key. The goal is not just to be strong like I am, but you want to also control your blood sugar levels. Come on, man.
Right.
All right.
And I think one thing that you mentioned earlier about the glycogen, right? The stored glucose. If you do this resistant training, it's likely that you are burning down all the stored glucose in your muscle. So even after you're done for the day, the body have to replenish the depleted glycogen, right? So during the day, your system was still working for you because you've done this extreme exercise. And because you have depleted the glycogen, the stored glucose, it has to be replenished. So whatever you eat, more glucose have to go
to form a new form of glycogen.
And the whole day, your levels are well controlled because you've done this resistant training.
That's what's up. That's very, very important. So you can never over exercise. Some people say that, oh, I exercised today, so I'm not going to exercise tomorrow. If you have made it into your schedule, just go ahead and do it, because the depleted glycogen that you use your exercise to consume is going to be replenished by the food that you eat, such that you don't have too much glucose floating in your blood, which is what we basically call diabetes type 2.
Right.
You don't want glucose to have its way in your blood hanging around for nothing. You want to pick up every glucose into your body, and the way to do it is to burn it. Burning it means you're moving, you're exercising. And so exercise is definitely important if you want your blood sugar levels to go down and to be normal. So that is huge in terms of that regard, especially if you think about the fact that the stored glucose is going to be replenished from more glucose that you eat if you exercise a lot. So the other thing is that the resistance exercises are convenient, and they are versatile, providing resistance to the muscles and giving you strength. Apart from the fact that you are burning up glucose and making sure that your muscles pick up glucose all the time, they are convenient. Look at those people we are watching right now. In the middle of their own living room, maybe their basement, or and somewhere in the house, lifting a few pounds of weight, making sure that those arms, those muscles there are activated. You know how much glucose they are going to be picking up from their blood just because of a little resistance exercise here and there. But
And
yeah, go ahead.
also, we have the resistance band.
Resistance band, yes.
So the resistance band is very convenient to use. When you're traveling, you can carry your weight. You can use the resistance band. You can have it with the people carry alongside when they travel. So you can use that as a form of building muscle. I wish I have my band here because I have it. You can use that to build muscles, and that is very convenient. And that will also help control the glucose uptake because you're building muscles with the resistance band.
As well as also help you with your strength. Some people can walk a few slides, a few stairs of flight of stairs, and then they are panting like they did a huge run. But because you are not exercising, the strength is not there. So resistant exercises will give you the strength, not just to hang around, but then also giving you blood glucose control. You can beat that. You can beat that. So now, what if we told you what is even better than either resistance training or cardio? Drum roll. What is better?
You have to combine the two.
Oh my goodness, yes. Combining the two is what you need. If you combine cardio with resistance, or weights with running, or walking with push-ups, basically resistance plus running or something that makes your heart race. That is what studies say that that's the best way of controlling your blood sugar levels. So you're doing your running or your brisk walking or you're cycling or you're swimming, and then on top you're doing push-ups or you're doing some weights
Lunges.
You're doing something also with the resistance. Like these people are doing. You have this, you finish your run, and then you come and you do some weights. You can beat that. That makes sure that your glucose levels are on point. So combining these are what we actually recommend. We don't want you to just do cycling every day.
Just brisk
Or
walking.
just brisk walking every day. It is better to combine at least one or two of each and ensure that you are getting the benefit of both, because studies say that the two combined is actually better than just doing one alone. And even with that too, as we go into some important considerations with the exercise, another thing that we should say is that you don't stick to one exercise all the time. So that, for example, you do cycling. You can't do cycling every morning. You are going to put wear and tear on your knees, because everyday cycling, your knees are not going to be able to handle that pressure. So you do cycling today, maybe tomorrow. Cycling is aerobic or cardio, right? Tomorrow you do something else. You swim. If you can't swim, maybe you do something else. Brisk walking, just to give your knees that kind of a break. And then on top you do your push-up or your weights, or you do push-up today, you do weights tomorrow, or you can do both, so you don't do it too long on each one. So that is,
so like if you have 30 minutes a day, you can do 15 minutes aerobic and 15 minutes resistance. So together it's 30 minutes and you're done for the day.
And then the other key consideration to make or to take into account when you are exercising is you want to be consistent. I can't stress this enough. We said this almost every video that we mention exercise. If you exercise once a month, yes, you are doing good. You are doing something. But once a month consistency won't cut it. Come on, man. Once a month consistency will not cut it. So what you want to aim for is more frequent but consistent. It could be even 20 minutes a day. But if you do it every day, over time it will add up. So the key is consistency. And studies actually recommend a total of 150 minutes per week for your exercise. 150 minutes per week. So, give or take 2.5 hours.
Right.
Right? So 2.5 hours per week. You can divide it in the days of the week. Maybe every other day you do 45 minutes, or every other day you do every day you do 30 minutes, or you do 20 minutes one day, 30 minutes another day. However, it will add up to 150 minutes approximately. It's what you want to do. So when you do that, then obviously you are going to reap all the benefits, especially when you are doing these exercises that we have mentioned. Your cardio, and your resistance training combined, you are definitely going to reverse your blood sugar levels. You are definitely going to do something better for your sugar. So that is the key. The first key is consistency and making it regular enough and using up 150 minutes per week. 150 minutes per week.
Yeah, so studies have shown that you cannot just like you're talking about once a month, right? You wait for once a while, you just do 2 hours or 3 hours intensive workouts. Then you stop for three weeks, 4 weeks, then you go back again. That is not effective.
It's not.
There should be consistency. So like if you're doing 30 minutes a day, like you said, you just do 30 minutes a day. You just don't put it off too long, then you go back at it and you become so like intense because you feel like you've lost all those days, so you want to make it up for. Then you stay in the gym for 3 hours, 4 hours, then you go home and you forget about it. That is not what we are recommending. We are talking about consistency, building that into your schedule. I just admire people that has built up this workout into their schedule such that they know that after work they go to the gym before they go home.
Some people bring their gym clothes in their car.
And I envy them. I'm like, wow, I wish
That's
I could do
discipline.
that.
When you're coming to work, you feel exhausted. You want to crash when you come home. But people go from work to gym. And these are people who know the benefits. Because trust me, if you don't know the benefits, you'll be like, oh, come on, man. What am I waiting for?
And sometimes too, if we don't understand the importance of our gym, we tend to judge people that are trying to stay active, because we don't understand the importance of it. So people are like, look at this skinny bitch, right? They just want it, like, what do they need to lose again?
Yeah.
What's their worries? But
They are that way because they've been doing it all the time.
because they've been consistent, So if you know the importance of exercise, you tend to build it up as a part of your schedule. You don't throw it somewhere and do your own thing. It's very important that we consider that.
Definitely. You don't want to throw it down in any way like that. Now, the other thing about exercise that we have to also hit on is it has to be individualized. Exercises are better, are better than when they are suited to you. So the best exercises are those that you actually enjoy and can stick to. Now we can talk about all those kinds of exercises, but if you are the person that you can run, it doesn't mean because you say we should run, you should run. Or you can walk. It doesn't mean you should walk. What it basically means is find what you like to do. As long as you're doing something, that's all that matters. Do it long enough and you're going to reap the same benefits that are mentioned for all those groups of exercises that we have mentioned. So it has to be something that you enjoy doing so that you can stick to it. Not because everybody is doing weights, so you have to, and you don't like weights. It's okay. Do what you like. But you got to like something. You can't say, I don't like any exercise. Come on, man. Yeah.
And also, as we are recommending, we just want you to consult with your healthcare provider.
Yes.
You just don't want to start doing something that you may get hurt later or that is not suitable for you. So if you are not sure what kind of exercise work best for you, you have to consult with a professional, with your doctor before you do it. And also, we have trainers and personal trainers out there that have trained and know what they can do to help you. If you have to consult, get in touch with the trainers and they will help you do the right exercise in the shortest possible amount of time and still get all the benefits that you need.
Definitely. Come on, man. Trainers, stop those sales that you go to all the time and save some money for trainers if you can do it yourself. If you can, be self-motivated to do it, do some training. And that brings me to what you actually do. You actually subscribe to some company. We don't want to promote that company. That company should pay us before we mention their name. Right? That you use at home in our basement, you turn the TV on, and somebody actually shows you what to do for the day, and you follow through it. So that's a form of motivation, and there's a group of people you are watching, talking to you and helping you go through it. If you have to subscribe to a program like that, that's fine. If you don't want to pay, there are free ones all over the internet, especially on YouTube. But you got to be doing it. It's got to be consistent. It's got to be something that is part of you. People must be able to tell, oh, this person is exercising, but no, I shouldn't bother her or I shouldn't bother him. But it shouldn't be like it's none of the things you do, and then once a while, oh, because you heard somebody talk about it, you go do it. No, you got to work it out into your own schedule, especially if you want to reverse high blood sugar levels, especially if you have hypertension. But as she said, before you begin any exercise, talk to your doctor, especially if you have not been exercising. Make sure that before you start, you consult your doctor. All right.
And with the program, we have beginners, we have the moderators, the
Moderate level,
modern and the
advanced.
high intensity and the advanced. So you start gradually, then you graduate to the more intense workout. So if you are a starter or you are a beginner, you don't want to start with a 20 weight because you feel like you just want to do something.
You think
You
you are
wake up
buff
the
already.
next day and your whole body is a mess. So you start slowly and slowly you graduate to the higher levels.
All right, so that's a progression.
Yes,
right?
so that you avoid injury and you can maximize the benefits as you do it.
And sometimes, even when you have done the same, and this is from my personal experience, if I've used the same weight over a long period and I stop for a long time and I go back to that weight,
Yeah.
your body thinks it's new. You can't say that, oh, I used to bench 50, so I'm going straight to 50. No, you're going to get hurt. You got to start slow and then work your way up to where you used to be. So it's definitely important that we don't want you to hurt yourself and say that, oh, those guys, I watched them and I got hurt. No, please don't do that. We just want you to do it a safe way. And the other thing is, we want to make a caution here that much as we know exercise can help you reverse your high blood sugar levels, it is not going to be by itself easy if you just want to use exercise. In other words, you can't eat all your sugars, you can't eat all your carbs, you can't eat all those other junk foods that we want you to avoid, and then think that because you are exercising, you're going to reverse your blood glucose. Perchance you might be, especially if it is not really bad. But what works most is to harness all those three approaches and use them together. That will actually make it easier for you to reverse your high blood sugar levels. And what are those three approaches? I want you to
Yeah, so the first one we talked about diet, we went through all the different kinds of foods that will help you reverse your diabetes. The ones that you have to do away with and the ones that you have to include in your diet. So diet is one important aspect that you don't want to forget. You can't out smart or out exercise bad diet. There is no way that can happen.
You cannot out exercise. You can't say that because I'm exercising, I can eat all the junk.
Because I'm exercising. Yeah. That doesn't work that way. And the second one that we talked about was intermittent fasting. That's another way of approach that you can use to control the amount of food that you consume or the amount of calorie that you put in your system daily. So intermittently, you fast like periodically throughout the day. We talked about 16 and 8, right? We talk about 10 and 14. However you want to break up your fasting. You just don't want to eat every day and every time and wanting to reverse your diabetes. There are times that you have to stop eating, and we also caution you that if you are taking some medication that you need to eat, you have to consult with your doctor before you do intermittent fasting. And the last one that we are talking about right now is the exercise.
It's the exercise. So if you put all three together, you watch the diet, the diets that you have to be eating. And then you do, see if I can get myself alone. So you do the diet that you have to focus on to reverse your diabetes and your blood sugar levels. That's one. And then you intermittently fast using those diets. So first of all, you're eating the right kinds of food. And then you're also not eating around the clock every day. You're eating within some window and living some hours without food. So those two things are going to be additive. And then on top of it all, you are exercising. What diabetes can withstand that? What high blood sugar can withstand that?
You are hitting it
You
from
are
all
hitting it.
angles,
You are
right?
hitting it from all angles. It's basically an all hands-on approach. It doesn't matter how long your diabetes have been. We used to think that if you have had diabetes for more than 5 years, you cannot reverse it. No, the studies are saying otherwise. If you can really go hard on your carbohydrates,
hidden
avoid them,
sugars.
avoid carbohydrates and your processed foods. And then on top of that, you do your intermittent fasting, which means you're not eating from 7 to 7 every day. You are eating within maybe 8-hour window. And then on top of it, you are also exercising. What diabetes is so tough that is going to continue? It will only take a matter of months. The studies that we showed last time, 3 months, people used only intermittent fasting and they reversed some of their blood sugars. 3 months, just intermittent fasting. So think of it, if you have had your diabetes for longer and you can do all three things together. Last time I said, I'm going to be lenient. I give you 6 months. If you're really going to be serious, I give you 6 months. You can reverse your blood sugar levels. And I know a lady who actually is a member of this channel who's been watching us, who personally reached out to me that, she actually decreased her A1C levels all the way to 5 from however high it was. And she was thinking of even stopping her medication because she made the right choices. And you can do the same thing, no matter how long it's been. So there's hope out there. There's really hope. If you really are serious about it, you can do it. We want to challenge you to use all three approaches. And at the end, I'm going to put these videos, or you can just go on our channel, make sure you look for all those videos and watch them. I'll actually create a playlist just for those three that we have hit on diabetes, and see what you can do for yourself. Because you can do it. We know you can do it. We wouldn't waste our time and bring this to you if we think you couldn't. And if you have any questions, you should reach out. Anything that we can also do to help you. And we're actually gonna do some challenges along the way. So keep watching. Some challenges are coming up. Have people not eat for so many days or not eat certain kinds of food for so many days. And we'll read some testimonials if people are willing to share with us.
And the results are not abstract, or it's not like mystery or mysterious or anything like that. You can see the numbers right in front of you by just testing and monitoring the sugar. So we were talking about exercise. Just give it a try. Give yourself a week and start taking your numbers after you've started exercising. You've done your aerobic, your resistant training, and all that. After that, take the sugar level. We have some machines available now that you can easily see the numbers. Just take the numbers and just do the exercise and see the difference. You will testify that this is true information and it works. So we are not giving you false information. We are giving you the right ones. So if you
and the testimonies are so huge. I mean, we did a 40. We are just doing some real life cases here, so bear with us. We did 14-day fasting, right, from church.
Yeah.
And after the 14 days, a group of young ladies reached out to me and said that somebody lost 11 pounds. Another person, I think,
10
lost
pounds.
10 pounds.
Yeah.
And you could actually tell their belly has shrunk. Only 14 days. I mean, this is not 24-hour fasting. This was 12-hour fasting.
Right.
Fasting from 6 to 6 and then breaking and eating something after 6. No, I'm not saying you should go and do that just to reverse your diabetes. But we have made it easy. We say that, 10 by 14 or 8 by 16. So just eat for 8 hours. Or eat 8 hours within 8-hour window. I got to be careful. I don't want somebody to be eating all throughout the 8 hours. No. But eat within a shorter period and replicate that over months. You're going to lose that belly fat, and eventually your blood sugars are going to go down. Because as you keep doing it, the glycogen stores, the fat stores that are in your liver, in your muscles, in your body, on your arteries, on your heart, they are going to begin to be broken down for energy. And in the beginning, it's hard, but along the 14 days, at some point, I wasn't even feeling like I'm hungry because your body has turn onto the fat stores and the glycogen and giving you the blood glucose that you need to survive. And so if you don't reverse your diabetes, then it's your own choice, especially after these three episodes that we have shown you, reversing with food or diet, reversing with intermittent fasting, and today reversing with exercise. And if we think about any other thing you can add on top, to these three, we will do it. We talked about avocado last time, which is another good food you could use. We're going to actually hit on some individual foods that we want to point to you so you can use to help you as you change your diet. But definitely, I'm challenging. We both agree that the testimonies are there right now. Those of you who know me, I lost weight, and even right, just this 14 days, I could tell myself, and if I was doing it for health, imagine how much blood glucose would have come down. But if you are not doing anything about it, and you just want to depend on, the quick fixes, then it's not going to help out. And keep taking your medications. I'm not saying quit keep taking your medications until your doctor sees that you have done so much that without the medicine, you don't, really need it. And if you can sustain that lifestyle change, that's when we begin to talk about, okay, stop all the medications, because you are consistently fasting or doing an intermittent fasting. You're consistently eating the right food. You're consistently doing an exercise. So there's no point. But if it's only 1 month, they can say stop your metformin. They will keep you still taking your metformin because they don't know they don't know what you are going to do within the next few days. So definitely let's keep at it. And I challenge you. If you are watching, you're diabetic, you have hypertension, you have high cholesterol or any of those things, or pre-diabetic, not even diabetic yet. I challenge you, follow these things and let us know what happens in the comments, because we really want to see how people do so that we can encourage others. Like the lady that told me their A1C is 5. It's 5. They were diabetic. So, to be diabetic, it has to be over 6.5 or 7.
Yeah.
And they decrease it all the way to 5 with minimal lifestyle changes. So you can do it. You can do it.
Yep.
All right.
So did you find this information helpful? Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Dr. Oteng for more life-changing health advice.
Definitely. And if you watch any other channel, follow some channels you have to follow. There's no subscribe. Hit the follow and hit the thumbs up or love or like. And let's share the video also with other folks, especially friends and family who may also benefit. You may not be diabetic, you may not have any of these things, but let's share so that we can empower each other for a good health all the time. Make sure you hit us up on the comment section with your questions and all those contributions that you usually do. And we will close by saying, Beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.